This is Mike Coffin, Vice President of the Ataxia Brotherhood, and your Wrestle Fandom Radio champion, and you are watching Wrestle Fandom Radio.
Yo.
Hey, man.
What's going on? It's Garrett. It's Todd. There's no Joe, but it's still Wrestle Fandom Radio, the official podcast of Immortal Championship Wrestling, brought to you by Seasonal Sports and Rocking Horse Tattoo, and our newest sponsor, the Freeman Formula, and more specifically, upgrade yourself. Listen, trust me. Go to their website. You want this? You want this? First off, you want everything. But you want this? Use Disruption, the promo code Disruption. Get yourself 15% off. It doesn't love saving money. All right? Now, again, Joe isn't with us.
Please don't. You got to stop bringing it up. It's making me sad every time.
Yeah, I know.
It's disheartening.
This is the problem with having, this is like one of the state job summer problems. Mm-hmm. This is just what happens.
No,
working overnight and then getting stuck onto like the very next shift.
It's terrible.
See, I work afternoon, so if I get stuck on that overnights. So,
which is still pretty terrible. Not as terrible, but still pretty terrible.
It's not quite as terrible, I would say. But yeah. So then Joe should be back with us next week. You know who else is going to be with us next week?
Who?
Guy who just introduced the show. Our Wrestle Fandom Radio champion, Coffin, will be here to help us hype up the show.
On Saturday.
For next Saturday. That's happening in Rome, which is already a stacked show. So many people are going to be there. We'll talk about it later. We're really going to talk about it more next week as well. But in other ICW news, the Kanajahari September show has been announced. Mm-hmm. And Serena Deeb is going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Like, Mike King is awesome. That's all I got to say. Mike King is just the man. I mean, he
truly is.
He's just pulling him in from everywhere. It's like
he has put together one phenomenal promotion.
Yeah. It's killer, man. I mean, again, people, if you're listening, if you're not already going to the Rome show, you contact us. We got tickets.
You got to go.
Get them through me now. Save yourself $5 at the door, okay? And Dirty Dango, formerly known as Fandango, is right now the ICW champ, which is just crazy in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, he has built this He's just, yeah.
Okay, the legend himself, Gangrel, is going to be there. Okay, the man who started the Brood, the man who helped launch Edge and Christian. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's going to be there. And then Max Caster of the Acclaimed, who is undoubtedly just one of the bigger names. Very popular. I mean, I love the Acclaimed. I love what they do. I love how funny they are. I love the. I love the scissor.
Do you think he'll scissor me if I ask him to?
I'm hoping if we ask that he'll do it. That would be amazing.
I'd be thrilled.
Yeah. But I'm hoping. He seems like a funny guy who will do stuff. They both do. I like both guys from the Acclaimed.
I know they announced Dirty Dango's opponent and Caster.
Yes.
What about Gangrel?
They have not. I don't know quite what he's going to be doing. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean to him. Anyway, Gangrel is older. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he'll be coming out for a match, for a spot, if he'll be there to, take pictures, sell stuff, and
maybe he'll
interact with the crowd and it. Can I tell you
that was priceless, right?
Can I tell you that if Coffin wrestled Gangrel for the Wrestle Fandom Radio title, that would just be one of the best days of my life. That has like the best professional day of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that would be.
It's like kids being born, marrying my wife, and then that.
Even crazier if he won it.
Oh my God, no, dude! I don't have a change of pants over here. Okay, stop. Don't even. I can't. I couldn't handle it.
Everybody's lucky they can only see from like here.
Yeah,
up
yeah.
on
You
here
don't want to
right
see
now.
what's going on down here. That's just ridiculous.
No,
But
it's a stacked show.
it's a stacked show, but we're obvious. Like I just said, Coffin's going to be here next week. We might even launch just a couple minutes early, as long as everyone's here and everyone's on board for it. Just to be make sure Coffin can get on the show as well. So, but we're really going to get into next week's show, and then even if there's any more stuff for the September show, and then I also let Mike King know, and we should have tickets also for the Utica show because it's like
in October.
I live in Oneida, and then everyone I know is in Rome, and then the Utica show that's going to be at the Fitness Mill, which Al Snow is going to be at. How awesome is Mike King?
Yeah,
dude?
that's seriously.
Like, Al Snow, like I can't believe I'm going to be able to meet Al Snow.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah. No.
Or any of these guys.
Yeah.
It's like people come up and I'm just like, wait, I get to meet these people. Like it's, and yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. So, before we get into anything that has to do with the obvious news of, we need to talk about, Raw or anything WWE, is that we didn't really get to talk about anything AEW because of all the big news happening in WWE.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I feel like it was a reversal of everything we do. We usually talk big stuff. We're usually talking about AEW. We barely talk about WWE because it's been kind of.
It was a whole show basically.
Yeah. And that was like our longest show. It was like an hour and a half of Wrestle Fandom Radio. That was long. So now I didn't get to watch AEW last Wednesday, but I would say I felt paid attention to stuff on WrestleFeed. And I won't be able to watch tonight. With Claudio being a Ring of Honor champion and Mox being the interim and Wheeler being pure champion, do you think that Bryan Danielson is going to be a jealous prick that he's the only one not holding gold and get away from the rest of the group, and go like, because they're kind of, he was the only one that kind of stayed more heel even than anyone else, but they're all kind of,
they all are, but yeah, he seems to have more of
between,
that attitude about it.
But he's more, like he said, he's like, did you guys not pay attention? I came out of the heel side, he's even said it himself before. Is this going to be an opportunity to break away one of them? Or do you think that maybe they'll just find more gold for, Complex, I was hoping you were going to tune in today. What's up, dude?
Hey, man.
I was like, we're going. I actually thought about it in the shower. I was like, I hope Complex tunes in. He's been like holding us down. He's all right. He says Complex is Bryan Danielson is either going to go after Wardlow or split off from the group. I think he's going to split off. See, that's why I'm asking Complex, because I think he's going to split off, because Claudio, Wheeler, and Mox, I think everyone in there is sort of fan favorites to a lot of people, but the other guys are either like a little more face or like on the lighter side of being a tweener.
Yeah.
Well, he is, as Eddie Kingston describes him, a judgmental prick.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's
just
what
one
I
of
think.
those things, like, I don't know. I mean, they could just literally have, it could be, like the Bloodline, and just have every championship in one faction. And again, though, it's like with Judgment Day, you had this faction come together for a month, and then you screwed it all up. You started doing weird stuff and turning on people. They haven't been, a faction for that long,
Right.
6 months or less. And to, do something like that, it's again, you have, in my opinion, a good thing. With those guys, they're all very skilled, they're all very talented in their own unique way. They're not. They don't wrestle like each other. I know wrestling, but they're
none
very.
None of them have the same skill set.
Exactly.
None of them.
That's what's the cool part about it is because they're all just different types of wrestlers. But again, it's one of those things where it's just like you put something together that's cool, that's working, that people are responding to, people are liking. So from what I feel like people are liking, you're not getting boos by when they come out by themselves or as a group. People seem to always be cheering them. So it's one of those things where if they did have him go off on his own, it's like, are you gonna kill something too early? Are you gonna, again, you could lead it to other things, and now there's 3 other guys that he could go against, 4 titles. But again, don't ruin a good thing. And if you have something that's cool, now if you want to do, like the Shield, they went for a while. Nobody saw that coming.
Right.
Nobody. That shocked everybody when Seth did that. So again, you got to let it, if you're going to have somebody split off or you're going to kind of deteriorate it to a degree, let it go for a while. Have it be more of a surprise.
Right.
Because people are still getting kind of used to it. People are just starting to tune back in or tune in for the first time. They're getting used to these, 4 guys together as this faction and whatever. Give it a year.
Right.
And then do something with it.
Yeah.
Or just let him win a title.
Right.
And then they have...
Because it
all
would also
these titles.
Right, because it would also look cool too so let's say obviously the obvious thing for him to either get is it would be to get the Mid-Atlantic and elevate it, help elevate it, or like Complex said, to go after Wardlow and get it from him, because I mean, I personally with Daniel Bryan, I hate the whole he can beat anybody thing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I know it's wrestling, I know it's scripted, but you still have to have this air of believability.
Oh, exactly.
No, everyone knew that Orange Cassidy wasn't going to beat Wardlow, but it was still a good, entertaining match. And I know some people were complaining about it. I know a lot of people don't get Orange Cassidy. I love Orange Cassidy.
It takes a little bit to grow on you, but he's cool. It's just
I had heard about him first, and someone said to me, "You got to check out Orange Cassidy." And I watched a video of him from Indies where it was it was titled "The Evolution of Orange Cassidy," and then how he adopted. And I was like, "Well, that's kind of a cool thing to adopt." And then when AEW started, he just started showing up in the background. There was a fight. I can't remember who it was between, and it might have been Ortiz or somebody like that, or Santana, where they took somebody and they threw him into a door, and the door busted open, and Orange Cassidy was just standing there with his leg up on the wall. And the guy who opened it, who was a big scary dude, saw it and went, and he just shut the door oh man, that's Orange Cassidy. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
So he was treated like this bigger deal, and that
anybody that can, do that back spring with their hands in their pocket.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I love the entire thing. I love every single bit of it. So Z is watching. What's up, Z? And then Complex says slow burn. It's the juices simmer. Making it first. And I know Todd just said that, but yeah, I mean it's true. Yeah, so he's agreeing with you. And then he also said Orange Cassidy the way I see him is like an internet troll, which might be the reason Jim Cornette doesn't get him.
Well, that's the other thing I'm getting sick of, hearing all these, people, Vince Russo, all these other guys just chiming in. Shut up. You know what? No one cares. No one wants to shut up.
Right.
Just, you had your time. Just shut the F up. No one cares. Oh,
I mean, it's because it's how they're making their.
Oh, yeah.
They're still making their money is being, but maybe not always being negative about everything just to be negative, I mean, if you don't like something, you don't have to like it.
Right.
How many people love Bryan Danielson, and how many I'm just not huge on him. I don't like the way he wrestles. I don't,
I enjoy him, but he's
good at his job.
I would enjoy more seeing him power bombed through the mat by Wardlow. I like him. I always have. But it's one of those things, too, where it would just be fun to watch him just get powerbombed to death. Unfortunately, that statement might be a little more true because that, with all his concussions.
Yeah, we don't. It's like I don't really want the guy getting hurt
No,
here,
But like I said, it would just be because he is, one of those guys that has that arrogance and that air about him that let Wardlow powerbomb you like 10 times.
Yeah,
and have that be like a little bit of a cleansing, I guess, if you will, and shake the cobwebs and because I even said to my girlfriend the other day, I was like, that yes chance that'll always follow that dude.
Right.
Forever and ever.
It's going to follow wrestling, period. It's just like the what chant, which I hate.
Yeah, no, I
hate the what chant, man.
At least,
I hate it so much. The only thing that makes it really good is when a wrestler uses it.
Yeah.
When they beat it, when the wrestlers when they steer into it, and I've seen a couple wrestlers do it, but then it's still just like, come on, I don't know. It's just it can be ridiculous. But anyways, anything else about anything big going on?
AEW? I mean,
in AEW,
Fyter Fest kind of came and went.
Yeah, it was
okay.
There's been better Fyter Fest.
I mean, that match with Kingston and Jericho was a really good match. It was, it was pretty brutal.
Don't you start, Complex.
Uh-oh.
He said what?
But other than that,
way to troll me, Complex.
You set yourself up for that.
I really did.
We don't want to say you hated it.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it.
I love it. I want everybody to say it all the time. No, I mean, not that I don't get me wrong. Not like it's just been middle of the road with them. Like they always put on a good show.
Oh yeah.
But there's been nothing that is like, or that I can recall or remember. I mean, there's just there's watching so much and paying attention to everything. You kind of like sometimes there's little gaps in the brain. But it's just been like I said, always good shows. But it's just been kind of like down the middle.
Right.
They've just been putting on good matches, good shows, but nothing has really like, oh man, this person came back or this person debuted or like this person won the title and never thought they would. So it's just kind of been like, I don't know if they're sitting back like crap. Mm-hmm. Because obviously now with Vince being gone, it's opening up a whole lot of other stuff, and I don't know if there's going to be another war, because I think before Vince, just kind of like, yeah, they're there, but whatever. And AEW and, Tony Khan were like, yeah, they're there, whatever. But now that AEW knows that Triple H is involved, he's changing stuff. He's already changed stuff. He changed stuff day one. Now, I sent the thing, the other day. He's letting them be more, ad-lib with their promos and, stuff of that nature. So I'm wondering if AEW is just kind of like sitting back and watching to see what's about to happen. Yeah, because when they entered the world, it was the Vince world.
Right.
So I'm wondering.
Now they have to bounce back to they have to bring everything up to the AEW level. So,
but hopefully AEW doesn't try to go stupid and overboard.
Yeah, they can't go. They need to stay doing what they've been doing. Their ideas have been good. So they missed some things, but the person who came up with a lot of the things that were the bigger misses is now in WWE. So, yes, Cody Rhodes went back to WWE. But so here is my thinking, right? And I was actually talking to Stu, who used to be on the show, about it. They have a lot of belts.
Yes.
They also, in my opinion, use wrestlers better. You don't see everybody every single week. You might not see somebody for a couple months, and then they show back up because they have a bigger roster and they don't have that much time.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they want to preemptively take the war to WWE, right? Because now, it's like they went on Wednesday, they went against NXT,
Yep.
and
They won, in my opinion.
and they won only because, in my opinion, they were the new show.
Yes.
And Vince preemptively punished NXT and Triple H for that when he shouldn't have.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
If AEW was going to go against any of those shows, obviously NXT was the best one because it was the newest. Even though it was the best WWE product, it was still a smart move on their part. And then to have them, lose that war, to then have the NXT product then go down through its own, the creative, just, letting Vince destroy it, essentially.
Yeah, and move the day.
I think they should go against NXT again, and they should launch the ROH show. So what they should do, and now looking at it, even as we've been to shows, and we know, but we already, people already know how they do it. They tape a Dark and Dynamite, and then Rampage. But they also have another Dark show, is Dark and Dark Elevation. I don't know which one they tape when, or I don't even know which Dark we actually watched.
I think we watched Dark Elevation.
So the Dark, they could tape another Dark right before ROH. So and split it like AEW or Dark Elevation could now just be ROH Dark Elevation, and then you just AEW Dark, and both YouTube shows keep them exactly as is, change the thing, and then launch that there. But you've got look at all the champions that you've got already, listed just in AEW. You've got all the champions; they're all there. So I think it would be smart for them to launch another show, have it be because especially being if you go Tuesday, Wednesday, you've got so much right that you can do, and the especially if an ROH AEW war breaks out at some point, which has to be the inevitable storyline at some point where it's they just start going against each other. I just think I personally think that's the way to go. I like championships. I like seeing a lot of belts. I do think that there are currently too many in that promotion, even with the way that they use wrestlers, because they use them sparingly.
Yeah.
You don't always see everybody every single week. You'll see a lot of whoever's hot, whoever's got a big thing going, and sometimes you won't see anybody for a month or two, which I think is smart. For the wrestlers, not only physical well-being but mental health as well.
Oh, absolutely. No, 100%.
I think that's what they should do. I mean, they have the library, they have all the titles. I think that's what they should do, because if not to cut off what you were going to say, but it's currently there's technically two AEW World Championships. You have an interim, right?
Yeah.
But you have the AEW World Championship, the TNT Championship, the Mid-Atlantic, and the tag, and then the women's, and then the TBS. So you got right.
Oh, what did what's his face just win last week? Crap. FTW? No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have the FTW belt, right? Which is in the unofficial. It's the Wrestle Fandom Radio Championship, or the Wrestle Fandom belt is much like that. It's the same, type of thing. So yeah, 7 belt. I mean, did I miss any? Did I miss a belt? But then, it very often we see FTR has the AAA,
3, yeah.
the AAA championships. They've had, sometimes you'll see someone show up with a New Japan belt.
Yep.
Which is awesome. This is all awesome. I'm not complaining about any of this. And at one point, I mean, because at one point they had the TNA, all the Impact stuff.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But now
yeah.
it's all ROH stuff. But then now you have all the Pure Championship, the Women's, the Tag, the ROH Championship. I think it's only those 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but if you look at that, so there was 7. That you're talking, that's 11 belts in 3 hours of television.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Well,
in my opinion, because I personally like I've said it before, and I'm sorry to keep on talking at length, but the Mid-Atlantic but I thought a belt should be defended on Dark.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It will show that these matches are in fact important, and these wrestlers are important, and in my opinion, it would bring the show up and not bring the belt down. Especially if it's one of the more established belts.
Yeah.
Or if you have the Mid-Atlantic and that's where you keep ending up seeing it, then you know that this is the top spot in Dark. So, all right, I'll let you talk now because I just said a whole bunch of crap.
I don't disagree with you, but I think the first thing they need to do is get with somebody about doing a streaming service for numerous reasons.
Absolutely.
One,
HBO Max.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And they probably will. Yeah, me too. I have them all, which is regardless. Because first of all, $50 pay-per-views people are going to get sick of.
We've been over that. We've been over that for a long time.
And if you want to I like the idea of doing like a Ring of Honor show. The problem is that it's really never been a televised show. So unless you're really like deep into wrestling and you really follow like stuff online and stuff like that, you don't know much about it. But they do have the library. So either do both at once or get the streaming out there with all the, everything, AEW, Ring of Honor, so then people can watch Ring of Honor stuff, get familiar with it, get familiar with the wrestlers, the product, the brand, even going back however many years, right. Just so they can be like, oh, okay, cool. Now I want to watch a show, because you're going to get people, I'll be honest with you, like, I know of Ring of Honor, I know of people, never really watched it.
Right.
So for me,
it wasn't easily accessible.
Right.
Even by today's streaming standards, it wasn't exactly easily accessible, which is why I don't want to say went under, because they didn't technically let it go like away.
Right.
But it kind of went under because I think, mismanagement and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone should be in on that. I would love to watch NWA.
Oh, yeah.
I would, but one, if you were to watch everything wrestling, all you would watch is wrestling. Mm-hmm. If you work a 40-hour job, all you would be doing is watching wrestling. So, in my opinion, it's damn near impossible to watch every wrestling that comes out, even like right now.
Yeah.
That's out.
Oh yeah.
Like to watch Impact, NWA, New Japan, all 3 WWE shows, both Darks and Rampage and Diamond. It's you'd be that's how many hours of TV did I just think about? That's like
that's a week's worth.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, that's like 20 hours of TV a week. Maybe if not more, but it's like or less. I don't know.
But I think
I can't do quick math in my head.
I think if they just launched a Ring of Honor show, it wouldn't. I don't want to say it would fail,
right?
But I don't think it would take off because people aren't familiar. They know it, but they're not familiar with it.
Right. So you think, and if you having like let's say HBO Max picks it up, and you know how it looks because we both have it. You go over to the hubs and it says AEW.
Yep.
And then you go into the AEW page, but then one of the subset things is
Ring of Honor.
ROH.
Yep.
And then, so the one is like it would even say ROH Library, and then, but you're saying have a new show. Would you launch the new show through that first? Much like how you only saw, like NXT used to just be on, wasn't it just on Hulu? at
Yeah,
first.
yes. Yeah.
And then it went like on TV.
Yep.
Or the way NXT UK is just on the network.
Yeah.
It's only on at least here. It's only on the network.
Yeah.
It might be on TV over there. It might be on one of the BBCs. I have no idea.
And that's a tough call because, again, you're also putting out a product that not a lot people are familiar with, but they don't know. So if they already have HBO Max, that's one thing. But then, not that it's super expensive, but then to get it and blah, 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 then what if, I didn't really like that. I just got a whole, streaming service. Now I got to cancel it, this and that. So it's almost better because at least NXT WWE has been established. So people kind of, hey, whatever, and then TV picks it up. It would probably be smarter to try it on TV because then the worst that happens is that people get used to it, and if something goes on, you could switch it over to the streaming service, and then people that want to watch it, keep watching it, just watch it on the streaming service. So, I just don't know if it would work out well if they just started it straight on a streaming service and then tried to see what would go on and then go to cable TV, whatever you want to call it. But I think the key thing that they really need to focus on, honestly, is they need to get a streaming service up. AEW's been around long enough that they have a decent library of stuff, whether it is just, old Dynamites, Rampage, whether, old pay-per-views, offshoots, stuff like that. And yeah, you have a whole library of Ring of Honor. So you have the content available. And people will, if you give them all that, people will subscribe that don't already subscribe. And they will, the WWE Network literally went from being a standalone, you pay for this every month, to, you're just paying for Peacock. Mm-hmm. And that's it, which is considerably cheaper than the network was.
Well, even if it was the same price, now you also get all the stuff that's on Peacock.
Right, exactly. And so it's kind of, there's a lot of stuff on there.
It's kind of a no-brainer. It's like, wait, like same price, but you're going to get, or even if it was like a couple bucks more, but it's like, are you going to get the entire library of everything that's on Peacock and the entire library that was the WWE Network? I don't know. It's just.
But I think that's the thing. And it really also, to me, is it really, yes, like you said, people are over the $50 pay-per-views. You know what? I
haven't gotten one yet.
I've gotten a couple, and one of them, Bleacher Report screwed up, charged me, and then wouldn't let me watch it for like 3 days.
Right.
And I was,
and that's another thing. It's like, it's got to go through this, and it's like.
Now, back in the day, it was just exactly where you just call a number, like now I'm going kind of old school with it. But you just call a number. You called a number, you put in your parents' credit card, whether they gave you permission or not. And then you watch the pay-per-view, that's how it was. And you knew it was going to work, period.
Right.
Now you got to, I got to have this. I think I have Bleacher Report on my Xbox, so it's like you can't even get it on like a and then if something goes on or it's swamped and then. So, no, I think they really need to focus on getting a streaming service going. And even if, you want to do whatever, charge half the price for the damn pay-per-views. But $50, like, I only watch ones that really are like, you know what? More than half of those matches I know are going to be fantastic. I'll pay the $50 for it. Other than that,
right,
man, no
because
way.
I would rather, even if they launched strictly their own like style, just like their own app that was like a couple, a few bucks a month. I'd pay for their I pay for their own app because I don't get to watch all of because I don't have like cable. I only get to see it. Because like I said, I work in a house setting, but like I'm still at work. It's not like I can sit down and watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on, and I can peek and be like, "Hey, this is cool." Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like I can't. So I can't like watch like I want to. I can watch clips or like later on I can watch it. I can watch it Dark's easy because it's not they're free on YouTube.
Yeah,
but. I would love it if it was all on an app and then like next day stuff is on or even a couple days or whatever it ends up being on the app. Then I get to sit and watch it. I can watch the product I want to watch.
And maybe now because they know no pun intended, but they know they're going to have to pick up their game. Maybe
it's gonna get better because
maybe
we can switch over. Let's use this as a springboard to talk about
WWE, because it had SummerSlam. So I guess we'll start with SummerSlam before we go to really good Raw. Effing liars. Anyway, SummerSlam
better than Raw's lately.
Yes, it's true, but yeah,
but not like it didn't blow my socks off. Okay.
We'll get back to that. So SummerSlam, hey, you watched? Did you watch? I can't remember if you watched. Joe watched.
No.
Joe watched.
I was working.
Joe, yeah. First of all, I'm beyond thrilled. I mean, it sucks that she's out now, but I'm beyond thrilled that Becky Lynch has stopped with the
I really hope
Picasso outfits, whatever she was wearing that night.
I really hope Big Time Bex is over.
It is
not a
I think that's what that whole Monday thing was. Yeah, and that's what everything was Monday night with that promo.
Because I think you have to change your gimmick at some points, but I think it's also okay to go back to certain styles where, like, I really wish, and I say this all the time in our messages and everything, I really wish Seth Rollins would go back to the architect to burn it down. I can't stand his
maybe now
current
that
style
Becky's
of character.
Changed.
I can't. That laugh is so fake.
Oh, yeah.
It's not him. You know what I mean? His face looks stupid when he does it. I didn't realize how much I appreciated him until he started this character, and I'm like, I hate this Seth. Give me the any other type of Seth, like literally.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, because obviously Triple H knows that a lot of Vince's decisions were stupid.
He just had to bide his time.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't just switch a character. I mean, you can, they did it with Elias, but he was gone for a while. So you can't, you're going to have to work into it. Now, with Becky, they did it perfectly because of the amount of time she had gone against Bianca and she kept losing. So it was to that point where it made sense for her to be like,
back off.
We're good. We're good. I give you a hug.
Yeah.
We're cool now, because that did show right then and there that she was going to change some way or another. And obviously, when she came out on Raw, back to wearing not like all black like goth, but
like
black
clothes,
and what she had. Now it sucks that she's out for several months.
Right. Is that a legit injury or is she?
I guess she had her shoulder got separated.
Okay.
And that's why she too made sense. I'm like, why is she shaking with her left hand? After the match at SummerSlam, she reached out with her left hand. I'm like, that's weird. But if her arm was legitimately, then she probably really couldn't move the damn thing.
Off of that match, two awesome things. One, I love the 3-person faction that showed up.
Yes, that was unexpected. Bayley wasn't unexpected, but the other two were.
I love that Bayley is you always assume that if there's a leader, it's the first person who comes out, right? So maybe Bayley is the leader, maybe she's not. I'm going to continue to call her Io Shirai because I think that Io being spelled with a Y and then calling her Io Sky is just stupid. Sorry. I just do.
No, I know.
And then, it's
Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai with a killer new look.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think those three together is
it's fantastic.
Awesome.
It is a very smart move.
But then the three of them to come out, and then the way the shot happened because shots, in my opinion, are always very important. And I think in NXT, Keith Lee was the king of shots. Mm-hmm. Stu described him as the walking GIF. Like he would just the things he did were just perfect.
Oh yeah.
But then how Becky just boom showed up into the shot like back off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No. You back off. And
the haggardness of her after that match was the more frightening of anything was and I feel bad because it's just not a nice thing to say, but just the way she looked was probably the scariest thing of all.
But that's how she looked like after every match lately when she didn't used to do that. So I think maybe that was the entire point of her, was like she was like, give me crap makeup that's gonna run.
Yeah.
So that I look ragged and run down and because she would go. Didn't she wrestle like an Iron Woman match at one point, and she looked like $1 million afterwards? You know what I mean? So, but it's back to my original point. When she comes back, she needs to, maybe not, even if she's not the, I mean, they were talking about you are the man. Like, I think she kind of needs to go back to that, but then still not run that ragged. Like, it was almost to the point where it was run ragged. It was right at the tipping point, and then she left because she had a baby. Yeah. So it was perfect. It was perfect time to go. Like, hey, there's a global pandemic. I'm gonna have a kid. Genius move on her part, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
it was the perfect time to have a kid. Perfect.
And honestly, like,
if you're a wrestler,
yeah, and like the man gimmick's cool. I truly though really enjoyed her with the whole steampunk thing. With the goggles, with everything, it was just Vince is gone, but tended. All right, I'm just going to say it how it is. He tended to make a lot of the women look like whores.
Right.
And I'm not bashing them because I know most of the time they didn't have a say in that. They had no. But there was a lot of them, there has been a lot that it's just like, they started as one thing and then all of a sudden, they're wearing next to nothing. And it's just like, you can't, the diva thing's done.
Diva's done. Stephanie killed that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Rightfully so.
You are not divas.
No.
You are wrestlers.
Yeah, you're superstars, which is the truth. That's what you are.
Great.
But then, like I said, there was a lot of people.
That was the best time in women's wrestling.
Oh, yeah. But then you see people come back, and you're like, they got work, and they got work, and they got work, and, they, whatever, they, are a lot skinny. But it's coming from them, not, I'm going to do this. It's, hey, if you do this, or you should, or we'll pay for, and it's just like.
You know what I think is funny about women and their looks is, as far as WWE goes.
I was going to say,
yeah. Before we get canceled here, as far as WWE goes, is I think it's great that Rhea Ripley wears all the stuff to make her look scary when she is naturally extremely pretty. Like, there is, if you've never seen it, people, there is a video that I think it was like 6, 7, maybe even 8 of the girls did, where they all sat around and talked without makeup.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it, but
you wouldn't even know that Rhea didn't have makeup on.
Yeah,
because the makeup that she wrestles with, that she's pretty much been in WWE like the whole time, has always been like that.
Pale almost.
The pale, like the slight goth, like almost like Road Warrior style gimmick-y, and it's only gotten thicker and whiter and like big. The more heel she's gone too.
Yeah.
So here she is, extremely naturally pretty, and then wears stuff to make her look extremely scary, and not the other way around. It's like she has to put it on to look like she's gonna kill you. So I think that's great.
Look at like
instead of I gotta be showy and I gotta be
Well, it's even like look at Natalie 3 years ago, and look at her now. The amount of work that chick had done on her.
Yeah.
Is disgusting.
Right.
Because it has made her Dana Brooke. I half the time don't even recognize her. I don't
even recognize her. She doesn't look the same.
No, because the thing about her,
size.
and that's what sucks, is because she was a bodybuilder. Her boyfriend was too. He passed away. I know.
Away?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, a few years ago. Because part of her ring gear used to have part of his, like, workout stuff sewn into it. So that was, like, her... and then all of a sudden, like, you see her now, and, like, seriously, there's times where she's at, like, wrestling, if I don't catch, like, the beginning of the match, or is it, I'll be like, who is that?
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, Dana Brooke. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, she looks...
doesn't even look like her.
No. And that's all... That's the WWE telling them, you got to do this, you got to do that, da-da-da, because what if you say no? You're gone. Right. Like, right. You are gone. And they won't bat an eye at it. They will send you packing quicker than anything because you defied them. And that's where I think Triple H is going to be great because he's not going to push that. Because, one, Stephanie will beat his ass if he does something like that.
And I mean, and look at who he ran with and dated, China. He's all about.
Who's more frightening than anybody ever in the world, in my opinion.
Who, China was?
Yes. She was a nice person, but just frightening woman.
Yeah.
She's just
so it's like I feel like he's just not going to.
He's not gonna. He's gonna let them do their own thing.
You are who you are.
Yep.
Do you think they're going to continue with the changing of people's names so that they own that character?
I think they'll get away from that too. I think he's going to do a lot of good changes, and because it's not fair to the wrestlers, especially ones who have used the same name their whole career. I mean, before AJ Styles has, you're not going to change. Change it. You're not going to change Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, John Cena. You're not. You can't. Somebody's name is their name. Like, to literally be like, oh no, we can't use that, or we're going to own this or that. It's like, that's terrible.
Right.
Now some work. Theory does not. Austin Theory sounds good.
Right.
Theory just sounds stupid.
Yeah.
It
should
idea.
Be Austin Theory.
Yeah, it should be Austin Theory. There are some that can get away with the one name, and that's okay. But no, Theory, only because it really, and this is just going to sound stupid, but it's a word. So it's like when somebody says, oh, Theory, and it's like the first thing I think of is a thought process, or coming up with an idea.
My brain goes to Hybrid Theory, which goes to Linkin Park, to their first album. Like, anytime or like you said, it's like an actual theory. It's like no.
But Austin Theory, you're
Austin
like,
Theory
okay, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. We're like, oh, Theory. It's like, what do you have a theory about? Right. Oh, the wrestler. Oh, okay. Like, so if it works, that's cool. If Triple H can say, hey, you know what? Your whole name just doesn't work out. How about just this? That sounds good. But there are ones that it just one name doesn't work. Could you imagine if he was just Lesnar?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. It's just like, no. So I'm hoping.
Just Roman?
Yeah.
Just Reigns?
Just Reigns.
No. Sometimes you got to have a whole,
It makes even
Undertaker was the Undertaker. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But then you get the guys like, but then you get the guys like Ryback who are like, oh, okay, well, you want to own my stuff? Well, I will legally change my name so you can't own my stuff, and then you're now forever named Ryback. But that's
I mean. If you got to outmaneuver him, you got to outmaneuver him. But hey, and then on to the Raw that was supposed to be so good that I mean, if they wanted it, okay, here's what it is, right? If they wanted it to be so good, but then at the same time didn't want it to look like they were exactly trying to mirror AEW. They should have done something along the same lines of where like it opened up with a fight, but maybe not a match, right? Or just have a lot of different things happen instead of, okay, here's your 15-minute promo.
Yep.
The opening with a 15-minute promo.
You're the exact same Raw as you were last week.
To end.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's got to end.
Because people don't tune in until 20 after now.
Even if you're opening up with something happening backstage first and then a match happening, or just like different things, or you want to open up with like maybe not a promo but like different videos of people have in the back, and then get to your other stuff or come up with something different. But the someone coming out and talking for anywhere to 10 to 15 minutes, that's got to go. I was immediately like, I texted the group chat. I was like, so far same crap, I mean, the best thing that happened that night was Ms. Mustafa Ali and AJ Styles.
Yeah, that was an amazing match.
That match was amazing, especially the finisher of that match.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh
yeah, yeah.
Like, it was so great. The 450 to then being picked up, and then the Styles Clash onto the Miz, and then pin. Genius finisher.
Yeah,
genius finisher. I was like, because here was my thought process was, this is an AEW caliber match, which, in my opinion, also says a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I've, in my opinion, sat here and not always try to compare the two and say, you've got to do this and you've got to do this. It's like, this is what's working for this company, and this is I'm not trying to bash on WWE. It's like, I just didn't like it.
Right.
Well, I didn't like what they were doing. Can't help but tune in now, especially with our show is called Wrestle Fandom Radio.
Oh, yeah.
We have to tune in now. We have to see what the big to-dos are going to be and all this stuff. And
but I think that's also how AEW gets people to tune in at 8:00.
Right.
Because people know there's going to be a match first thing.
Right.
And people, in my opinion, most people are tuning in 8:15, 20 after 8 during Raw and SmackDown, because they know, all right, well, it's just going to be, Roman Reigns coming out and, acknowledging him and talking about this and that. Or, it's just going to be nonsense for 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
And then you have something.
Right.
Or even if there's something that happens backstage and one of the people involved comes out and does a promo.
Right.
Okay, still something happened before that, but that you start doing that consistently, people are like, "Oh my god, it's 8, it's 7:58. I got to, make sure I'm watching Raw because I don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
Other than that, it's pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah, let's you want to do something big, you want to do something crazy, it's like, have Roman Reigns come out, and tell everyone he's going to, and then have the NXT champ come out. And on Raw, you know what I mean? And then challenge him to a match. And then all of a sudden someone tunes in at 10 after, and they're already into the NXT champ versus Roman Reigns. It's like, what?
Yeah, exactly. What I miss?
What did I miss? Yep. And if you do that enough, you're going to start catching on with people to where, things like that are going to happen. Or, it's like,
and that's
you really want to throw people for a loop. It's like, maybe have, again, have Roman Reigns come out, have Brock Lesnar come out and squash everybody, and then have Austin Theory cash in the first 10 minutes of a show.
Yeah. But you got to
and,
have something Brock come out with more creative than a tractor this time, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was different. Dumping Roman out of it was stupid. Like when he put Roman in the front part and dumped him in the ring.
Yeah.
Lifting up the ring
was awesome.
Awesome. You know what? But again,
we've never seen that.
No, and I hope I never see it again. Because what they did, what they always seem to do, they do a match, the ring breaks, everybody loves it. Then there's 18 more matches that the ring breaks. You know what's going to happen. It sucks.
Yeah. If they ever do it again, it has to be just different enough to be awesome. Like the beer truck and then the milk truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even that.
The milk, because I thought the milk truck was genius, because who would ever do that?
Right. But it had been done.
But
that was the,
it's the funny part of, it was a funny, I don't want to say upgrade of it because it wasn't technically better, but it was a funnier way to reenact it. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't work again unless someone was like, yeah, but what if, it's like Kurt Angle's like the all-American dude, and like here's, like milk, and what if he literally goes out with a milk truck and he's spraying? I can't imagine how bad it must have smelled.
Oh, it got to be terrible.
It had to be terrible. I would much rather, who wants to smell like beer, but I'd much rather get sprayed with
At
beer.
least the beer was only beer for a quick moment. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the rest of it was water.
Yeah.
After like the initial like
But
10,
milk
15
was milk.
Oh yeah, that was all
That was
milk all day
They had to
long,
throw everything
and
out. I'm
that
sure they had to throw
was-
the ring out. Like,
yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
like
because I feel bad for anybody that got like slammed face down into that mat at some point in time after that. Like, ooh, what's that?
oh,
Cheese? Are you making cheese?
are we making cheese here?
But yeah, even with SummerSlam, some matches were and the other there was good ones. That last match was insane. I mean, I truly deep down inside, and I know there was a lot of, I don't feel that it's the last match between those two because of the way it ended.
Yeah,
If it was not clean,
Yeah.
but if it was just, hey, you know what, you beat him to the point where he could not get up, okay.
yeah.
To me, I know there's no DQ. I get that. But burying somebody under a bunch of crap,
With your guys helping.
yeah, that shows to me like you want to set something else up because
Yeah.
no one's going to walk
So-
away and be like, you beat me.
Right. And I actually heard that one of the storylines that Vince had killed, they're actually going to use with Brock. Now I read in WrestleFeed that something that was in the works that was killed is going to actually be.
I think you're going to see that a lot. I think Triple H has been keeping
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that Vince was killing
Right.
and is going to be like, no, we're going to do that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be good to see, but again, they need to. I'm glad to see that they're. It looks like they're trying to elevate the United States Championship. They need to do that with the IC title because I love the IC title. It really needs to come back. It needs to come back in a big way. And if they want to have the US on Raw and IC on SmackDown, that's fine with me. They got to elevate it the same way. IC title it's my favorite WWE title. So,
Well, now that they have like the UK, why not bring back the European title?
well, see, I thought the European title should be the UK's mid card title.
Something. I mean,
That's what I thought
when it was just here.
because it's over there.
Right. When it was just
perfect.
here, it made no sense. I'm like, why is there a European title when everybody is just in America?
I think there was a European title because WCW had the US title. So we already had the Intercontinental, but then like they had I think was it US and TV title? Was it TV title?
Yeah.
And then it's like they just had Intercontinental.
Yeah.
So then once they got once they acquired WCW, then they had
So bring back that and then have random people show up at the UK from like the US.
Right.
Just random ass people. Sami Zayn all of a sudden is, but bring that one back, like that was a cool title, but you have something where it would make sense to bring
Right.
it back because you have something that is in Europe now.
Yeah, and two, because if they brought the mid card, if they brought the European title to the UK brand as like the mid card, I would be cool. Not that my say has anything, but I would be cool with the regular roster people going there and winning that because, like I said, I don't think an American should win the UK title for minimum 10 years.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Minimum 10 years. At all, and it should be a heel that wins it, and like goes over there, and just, it's just rotten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because let's face it, it's not like Americans have a great, it's like, yeah, everyone knows what everyone thinks of Americans. Steer into it, like let's go.
We're hated and we're proud of it.
Yeah, so steer into it. Why not? So yeah, but if they were to go over there and win, or even go over there with the European title and then lose it and then just have it be there, like you said, have Sami Zayn, get it in a thing and then go and rule with it for a year. Go over to NXT UK, lose it there, and then just keep it there.
Yeah.
It stays there. They got it.
And just
Sami
a
Zayn
side
comes
note, Sami Zayn, this is just completely off the side. He was probably one of the it probably upset me the most when they changed all of his stuff. Because I am a huge punk and ska fan, so his music and the dance and just everything, I was like, this is so awesome. Because this dude is just into music that people still listen to, but it's not like big like it was in the 90s and blah, blah, blah. And then it just went to this weird music and conspiracy, long hair. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah.
He plays it well, but I really wish...
Old Sami Zayn was cool. Like it was a cool character. It was a fun character.
Yeah.
Like
I think they did him dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know, it's like he won the battle between him and Owens,
mm-hmm.
and then Owens immediately got elevated to Universal Champion.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn won that feud.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Well,
he got nothing.
I think that's what you're going to see the difference too, is that Triple H is going to pay attention to stuff like that, and see stuff like that, and be like, no, you know, we had this happen, and he made it up. Don't have the other guy take off, you know. And I'm not saying bury the other guy, but you need to, if you're going to kind of push somebody in even that little bit of a thing, then kind of keep pushing them,
right?
You know, don't just be like, oh yeah, you won, you know, whatever in the end, but. Screw you, Kevin Owens is going to, do
it's
it
like,
now.
okay, if he was going to go on to that, I'm not saying Owens, you know, didn't deserve to be the bigger star at the time regardless, but it's like, he could have had the U.S. title. He could have had the IC title. He could have had, you know, but he did nothing. They did nothing with him. And it was stupid. I love Sami Zayn. I think he's awesome. I think.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he is.
He should have gotten way more in WWE than he's gotten. So. All right, man. You got anything else? What are you thinking?
I'll be having myself and the almighty Genesee Joe.
Oh.
The almighty. I don't think he's watching, but he's almighty. We will be having a visitor tomorrow up at the radio station. A one Adam Stone.
Yeah, Adam Stone.
He'll be coming to chat with us.
Yeah.
So I will post some links because we do, an interview, but we kind of, spoiler alert, we cut it down to put it on the air.
Right.
Because, unfortunately, you can't put like a 20-minute interview on the radio and just say, here you go, because most people are like,
Yeah, what are these guys talking about?
But we do, but we do have a podcast page on the Drive's website, which that's where we post all the full interview, like we cut out like the cool parts and all the informational parts and put it together, but then we do take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes long, however long it is, we do put that on 927thedrive.net, and we do put it on there so you can listen to the whole thing as well as what we play on the air. So yeah, he's coming up tomorrow afternoon to talk to us, so I will once that's done,
at the Rome show.
Yes, yep. And once that's done and everything's whatever, I will throw some links here and there. I might throw a Zelda too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you like that?
Nice reference.
Thanks. It wasn't the greatest, but sometimes I get along.
I got it.
Thanks. Yeah. And I had actually worn this shirt because originally I thought Joe was going to be here, and I know he likes my shirts that I wear randomly, so I wore my Jesse and the Ripper shirt.
I've literally
the Forever Tour 1989. Yeah, I've had it for a few years. My brother got it for me for Christmas.
I've
like 4 or 5
never
years ago.
seen a Jesse and the Ripper
Hell
shirt.
yeah,
That's
man.
amazing. That's amazing.
But no, other than that, I think that pretty much covers wrestling from the past week.
So again, we will be having Coffin on next week, which
I'm excited. I love that man.
Yeah,
and I
can't wait till I can't.
know
wait
that kind of came out a little like
no.
But he is just one awesome dude. He truly is. It's always fun when he's around. It's going
to be great, and like we said, Joe will be back, and
Joe better. I'll go kidnap him. I mean, he's a little bigger than me, but I will still attempt to kidnap him wherever he is, and I will bring him
if you go there, if you can get in there, he'll let you kidnap him. First off,
I'll just straight up be honest with them. I'll be like, I'm here to kidnap that man.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest with you guys right now. And they might be like, hey, you know what? Take him.
Yeah, you never know.
And it saves me a lot of trouble. Bag over the head. I just want to be able to just get in the car.
Actually, if you don't put the bag over his head, I think he'll get sad. actually. Wait, we're not doing the bag thing?
I don't, I mean, I'm not here to kink shame anybody, but ooh.
Again, so then thank you to the sponsors. Seasonal Sports, you can even check out our own store on their website. The link is in the comments. Go ahead and check that out. Freeman Formula. If you need anything that has to do with supplements, especially this, upgrade. Guys, I swear by this stuff. And I really don't take anything that comes in, but I love this stuff. A billionaire. So I just buy the entire company, to be honest with you. But so I always had this, and I could take one every single day. It's so good. Go on the website, promo code Disruption, get yourself 15% off. And if you need ink, Rockin' Horse has too. It's right on the screen right now. Check that out. Right next to Big Apple. All right, go see Josh. Josh is not there. Say what's up to Mike. Tell them both I sent you. They're both big, lovable dudes.
They might kick you out.
Yeah,
Garrett says, "Get out."
Tell them Garrett sent you. And then they shouldn't kick you out. I'll make no promises. No, they won't kick you out. They'll be like, "Oh, Garrett sent you." Okay. Yeah, great dudes. If you need ink, go see them. And so we'll be back next week, regular time, Wednesdays at noon.
And if you're free in about an hour and a half, check out Todd Time.
Ooh, Todd Time. It's going to be Todd Time soon.
Todd Time soon, 8 to midnight, 92.7 The Drive. And you can stream it, too, if you're not local or if you're not near a radio. You can stream it off the website or the free TuneIn app.
Yeah.
Thank God for free apps.
I know, right? Free TuneIn app.
Technology.
Yeah. Got to get that. Go get that. Even if,
There's a lot of radio stations on there. If you didn't ever hear about this app before, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can pretty much listen to like any radio station that streams off of it for free.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. But all right. You will see us regular time next week. And again, if you need tickets for the Rome show, you want to be at the Rome show, message me. Complex, you should come to that, man. Like, I know you said you're in Syracuse. Come to the show. I'll have a ticket for you, man.
Yeah.
$20. Let's go.
Meet
Let's do
us.
this. Actually, Complex, if you're still watching this, message me anyways on Facebook Messenger app, that thing, whatever that thing is.
Where we speak on Facebook.
Yeah, where we speak on Facebook. Message me through that. I got a couple other questions about other stuff anyways. And we will see everybody next week. Stack show with everybody. We're all going to be here, including your Wrestle Fandom Radio champion. I can't wait till it's here. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We will see everybody next week.